coming out, those of you in person and those online, to our calling it the Town Hall for Sleeping Hollow State Fair camping. I'll just have our team give just a quick introductions to those here. Let's say Sam.
My name is Sam Norton. I'm operations. Most of you know me.
I'm Katie Stocklassa. I'm the admin supervisor for Polk County Conservation and work at the Nature Center.
Rich Leopold, Director of County Conservation.
In the back.
Steve Green, Ranger, City Hall.
So, and Katie will be monitoring our online guests, so if they have any questions, we'll be chiming in with those. If anybody online can type in a question if they have it, or a comment, and we'll get to those there. Kind of the format will be, after I'm done, Sam will come up and give any updates on things that are new this year or things that are the same. So that'll be pretty quick and easy. If you haven't signed in, there's a sign-in sheet over there. Please sign in. And we're recording this now, so everybody knows we're recording. And if anybody, we'll make that available to people that can't be here or be able to find them. So they can see the meeting if they would like to. And then after Sam's done, we'll kind of open it up to any public questions or comments. You can come up here and address us and everybody else here. Try to keep it to 2-3 minutes so everybody can have a chance. We're trying to keep it kind of tight when we schedule it 6 to 7, so we're trying to keep within those time frames so we can get back to their lives. I think that's probably about it for me. I haven't introduced myself, Jeff Condon. So I'm the Leisure Services Manager for Polk County Conservation, and my office is on the 3rd floor. So we may see me around. So yeah, I'll turn it over to Sam now with any updates that we have coming.
I think the first question everybody's gonna have is check in. We're gonna do the same as last year. We'll send out the digital sign up. You can sign in. I'll admit, last year I was a little conservative. It was a big gamble for us on a lot of things, and it paid off. But I was conservative, so this year we're going to open it up. There'll be more time slots available. Hopefully, get everyone in to make everyone happy that way. One of the big complaints that I got last year was shower house that was out here was not great, and I apologize for that. We do have a better shower house this year. It's actually a brand new unit. It's an 8-stall. Everybody has, so it's 8 individual stalls. And then there'll be a 4-sink off the back of it. It's supposed to be electric on demand, so we shouldn't run out of hot water. That one kind of bothered me. I thought I was doing something great for everyone, and it just didn't quite pan out the way it was supposed to. I know another one that was kind of an issue was N section last year, right after, not N section, L section out here last year. Had some power issues. We just got done rewiring the whole section, so hopefully that's all resolved. Other than that, Snowflex works. We're hoping to be open for a couple of weekends, just like we used to run go-karts for the State Fair campers. So we're going to hopefully be open a couple of nights for the campers that would choose to participate. With it, you see we've got a recreational area. All that will go out on the other side of the road. So at night, if you want to go over there, there's fire pits. You could light a fire if you choose. Then we'll have a rest of the picnic tables, that sort of thing. Anything, I don't really have a whole lot as far as updates go. We've been doing a lot of underground work again, trying to make general services better. Any questions?
So is there plans to update the power G of the Renaissance Fair?
Yes, so we're looking at that. So behind you, you see the future plans board. We're working on a bigger project overall in the grand scope. As of right now, I can't put better power out there just because there's not availability on transport. But that is one of the things that we're looking at, potentially being able to offer some more year-round style camping. That being one of the sections, and at that point, we'd update that service. Anything else? In G section?
Or just in the restaurants?
The Renaissance, okay. So the outside restrooms will still be available. The castle restrooms will still always be available. And I'm gonna put a couple of porta potties out there by the bus stop as well, by the pickup point. So that way anybody waiting for the bus can just use that right there. We're also gonna be adding a couple over here by the S and P section that's out in the middle of the driving range. That was asked of us, so we're gonna be providing those as well.
Like just fixing the bathrooms up there,
Which,
like the toilets and the showers and the draining and those kind of issues.
that, I will make a note of that to be addressed.
Like toilets just don't even sit on stands, so they erupt and then
They're not attached.
they're not attached, they're just falling out the floor.
That will be addressed then before state fair camping.
So back to that power issue, it browns out a lot back there in G section. And so that's just a concern for us a lot, because you're paying a huge fee, 15 amps, and that's supposed to be 30 amps, so I totally understand.
Well,
Yeah,
all-
no, update them.
yeah. You should have a full 30 available. Which site is that?
G1. Whenever we pull more than 17 amps, it goes down below 100 volts.
Pretty much everybody around has that same issue.
Okay. Then I will make sure, I will get that addressed as well.
But we were covering on here, that's what we want to these therapies. I put it on, I put it on, check it, I'm gonna put it on. Just get it down where. it is.
Yes. And some of that,
Fucking watchdogs, forced to shut up.
and some of that is our service coming in.
Yeah.
Our service coming in from Mid-America at the pole, we actually had to redo this service a couple of years ago. Best we're getting during the state fair is we're only getting 110 at the pole. So by the time we get it to you guys, it's as best as we can have without, I mean, and there's not a lot we can do, but we are trying to make it.
So 30 amps, all we're gonna have in T.
Yeah. Now, T's a little bit of a different beast
We
because
have generators.
those are on a generator, yeah.
Yeah, we didn't have trouble.
No,
Other than wishing we had 50 amps.
yeah.
I think why did I have 30? That's why it sounded. Yeah. We didn't have the 30. Yeah, we didn't have trouble.
Hey, Sam. I have a request to repeat any of the questions that are being asked, so the online people can hear what is being asked.
Oh, okay. Anything else?
When do we start bringing them in?
So the first day for pull-in, we're gonna start on the 29th this year. And then that is a Tuesday. We'll run Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We'll run part of the day on Friday. And then Saturday, Sunday will be the large pull-in day again.
Because the NASCAR race is on second, and third at Newton. We're really hoping to be able to. Will we be able to use our campers when we pull them in them early days? Because last year wasn't, we couldn't
No, there's no,
fire them up
No.
until.
and that'll hold true. So that you'll be able to stay in your camper and use power water on the first.
On first.
Yeah, which is the Friday.
Great.
Anything else?
What can we be addressing as to when their timeline is for the upgrades? Because this is going on 2 years, but
So that's something that we're working on right now, actually, is this whole timeline process. Like I said, we have future plans. We're working with architects right now and designers, on the master plan for the entire project.
Yeah, I could address some of that. I mean, we don't know. So what's happening right now, as Sam was saying, is, we're looking at the major renovations on the whole Sleepy Hollow operation here. So we're talking about this building likely being replaced with a new lodge and concession. So there'll be a brew pub or something like that with it. New lifts, new snow hills, new snowmaking equipment, new lots of things. And then at that, what we're doing now is kind of doing preliminary design. So looking at all the activities that take place in this park all year long and how all the puzzle pieces fit together. Once that preliminary design is done, then we'll know more about starting to put together what kind of power do we need, what kind of sewer, what kind of water facilities, where the bathroom's gonna be, all of that kind of thing. So That's gonna be over the next year, year and a half almost, that's gonna take place. We just started today, actually, meeting with the designers, so.
So the Rick and Mary will still be this year, or still, be checking you in the back, kind of like last year for whoever was back on that side. The buses will be the same as the last 500 years, however long they've been doing it, seems like forever. So those two things will be the same. We'll be looking forward for new buses after this year.
Yes, and to the best that we have been told from the fair, it is yes.
Yeah, they dictate that, but yeah.
Yeah, they're the ones that tell us, and we haven't been told different, so we're under the assumption that that is gonna hold true.
Yes, for those online, the question was, are the pickup locations going to be the same? And the answer is yes.
Right.
And my question is, and maybe this has been answered, but are we still gonna have, as long as we have that spot, next year we have that spot, certainly. When the first round is at, some of the grandfather thing, then
Yes, so she had asked if they currently have a spot, will they continue to have a spot? And the answer is yes, and that actually, brings up a little bit of another question that was asked of us. If you have a site, you will continue to get a site. You still get your reminder to get signed up. With that, if you don't sign up, you're not guaranteed a site. And we don't have along with that too, we can't trade sites around and pass sites on to the next generation, you know. Unfortunately, that's just not something that we can do inside of the county. Something else. Back to the sites.
So, so that brings up then what I was going to piggyback on. So that I sign up for a couple of signs, just because mom does, but it's more than just me. So how do I do that to correct that? You know, I'm just signing up, my mom, sure, all of it, but someone else is actually in a camping site. Should I change that now? So it's more accurate?
Yeah.
Because I whole family have trades, but I want to just like.
Sure. Yeah, I do it, we have a family camp out where we get like 4 or 5 sites, one person pays for it.
Yeah.
So I understand that. So I think on a case-by-case basis, work with Sam and Jeff on that.
Okay.
You know, what we've tried to do, so when the county took it over, we probably should have been first come, first served for everybody, but you all have been doing this for a long time. And we feel a strong commitment to try to keep that going. But we couldn't keep it going for like at the state fair where they, you know, you can give it to your kid or your friend or your nephew or brother Billy, yeah, or whatever. So we can't do that. But in clarifying the existing people that have it and who actually has it, we can certainly work with that.
And just like saying that.
Yeah, talk with Sam about that.
And Sam, this would be a good way to segue into the online questions that we've had submitted. The first question is, are any sites open for new campers? You'd like to address that?
No, we currently don't have any sites open. As of right now, we're still running on 2 generators. And we're hoping to use a little bit of natural attrition to get down to at least 1 generator. And at that point, which actually leads me into what else I needed to speak about. At that point, when we get down to 1 generator and have some open sites, we will open it up, any open sites through my county parks. And then they can sign up at that point, and that'll be after, you know, our returning guests have had a chance to get signed in.
So that's a good segue to the second question. In the past, there were 3 of us camping close together. Can we ever get back near each other?
If you send in a message, I will do my best. But since everything got shaken up through phase 1, it's not always the most accessible to do that. I know I hurt some feelings last year, and I apologize about that for moving people, but it was out of necessity.
Okay, thank you, Sam.
So what Sam was saying. You all got sites, so you're not worried about it, but when there's open sites that become available, we all go through a system that's called mycountyparks.com. Is it? So it's a website that facilitates registration at all of our campgrounds, Jester Park and Yellow Banks and everywhere else. So when there are free sites available, which hasn't happened yet, we've just been going with grandfather, grandmothered in sites until we have the attrition go down to a certain level, then we'll likely see that. The one thing I want to address with that too, and I haven't said it yet, but I know a question is going to come up, is we took over at the end of 22. 23, 24, we've been doing everything we can to keep everything as is. 25, now this year we're going to do it again. 26, we're good. After that, there's a big question because we don't know what this whole planning process is going to be and what everything is going to happen. So, you know, we're looking at a $10 to $15 million renovation of this park that's going to take place after camping season of 26. So we did everything we could to keep those camping seasons. So we got that. After that, we don't know what it's going to look like. So we don't know if we're going to have the same number of sites, a few more, a few less. We're also looking at other locations. You know, we've managed 17,000 acres. So maybe there are other things we could do. Maybe there's other pieces of property we could buy that are adjoining or nearby or another park or stuff like that too. So we're aware of the situation and wanting continuity because this has been a good relationship with you having a nice place to camp and us making a few pennies doing it. So we want to keep that going. But we don't know after the 26th year, but we can assure you that 26, we're still planning to keep going.
Sponsored, covered. Generator.
I have 30 sites on the generator.
Yeah, 30 sites on one city.
Yep.
Right now, you get 60 sites.
Total.
Total on generator.
Yep. And that's not, but neither one of the generators are entirely full. We've had a little bit of attrition. And lost a few campers on those sites, which I did not intentionally replace it because then it lowers the demand on the generator, helps in those results.
So anyhow, here it goes, right? So that phase that kicks in at 26, said that you might or might not have as many camps. And how do you regulate who stays and who goes?
Yeah, that we haven't answered that question. That's a real question.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a real
People
question.
there are-
Right. You know, it's a public park with a public process, so there's gonna be times to weigh in on it. And, we have control, but we don't have control, because since it's a public park, 500,000 people that live in Polk County have a say over this. So when we know what our intent is, we wanna keep the State Fair camping as is through natural attrition over time. And if we do have to make changes, are those changes all gonna be here, or is it gonna be over on the Ren Fair side, or is it gonna be by nearby? And we have other campgrounds too. So are there 20 campers that we can move to Yellow Banks? And we can section off a piece of Yellow Banks exclusively for State Fair campers or something like that. There's bigger questions that we don't know what the answers to those are yet, so.
So if you get rid of them sites, say you put 20 over hills, they go on a bus back.
Well, see, that would have to be part of it, is you have to think about the transportation, and you have to think, some of you, have like trailers and stuff like that, you know, livestock trailers and stuff. So we're thinking about that. I mean, add into this element, we might be having year-round camping here. We want, it, actually, that's been in our plans from the start. So we might have 20, 30, 40 sites year-round here that we double up during State Fair and then make another 60 on the back 40 and then have another 20 over here or something like that.
Yeah, it's like, you know, it's new 20 out because of that deal that. Then they can turn around and do 20 back.
That we don't know yet. So. Well, I have to wait till for that system. We've tried to be loyal to the State Fair campers that have been here thus far, but we haven't laid it out yet. That's why in our construction and our planning, we made sure that we didn't start turning any dirt until after the 26th season. So we can at least preserve it that long. And then after that, we believe that we'll be able to make accommodation, but we don't know what that looks like yet.
So, well, people, I know you said that it's the Polk County voters that vote on this. Are there meetings that you're allowing the public to come to within the design stage? So.
Yeah, there'll be public input along there. So right now, it's just us, staff working with a architectural firm and a group called SC Group, which is out of Vermont, I think it is. Colorado. So they're the experts when it comes to snow operations and stuff like that. But as we go on, whether it be through the Polk County Conservation Board, which has a monthly meeting that's always public, or whether there's special listening sessions that will incorporate with the architects where they have 1, 2, 3 public meetings where everybody's invited, and you would be a constituency group that we reach out to for sure. So I would imagine over the next year and a half, we're gonna have some of those touchstone meetings.
To comment on your previous suggestion about using yellow banks, beautiful park, by the way. If you wanted to offer that up as camping out there and just bringing vehicles down here, shuttling from here to State Fair, right, as part of camping at Yellow Banks, if you want to think about that, I
That might
think
be.
you might have some interest.
That might be an idea. You know, we've also been talking with the state fair itself. So Jeremy Parsons has been attending some of our meetings, and Pleasant Hill and Des Moines, and both the mayors of those towns. So we have a large conversation going and looking at multiple pieces of land, knowing what we're doing here is going to be a big deal, but it's going to have repercussions. And so what do we do for some of these other user groups? So.
We have 2 more questions online. The first one is, who will the email for time and date sign up be coming from, Polk County or Sleepy Hollow?
It'll be coming from the Sleepy Hollow email. It'd be the same one that you received the email from for the original sign up.
Okay. And the second question is, cart before the horse, but when the time comes, will you take into consideration those that have camped at Sleepy Hollow for many years?
I would believe so. You know, we're gonna try to be as loyal as we absolutely can be to people that have been there with us.
Thank you, Sam.
The plan for the snow up there.
During the camping, so hopefully we're gonna be able to open it up, for our campers. So if you have kids, grandkids, yourself, if you would like to go tubing on it, we'll be able to offer tickets and be open for a little bit of tubing and stuff like that.
Water coming down.
Yeah, so it's actually an irrigated surface. It's got like a mixture underneath that sprays the water up on top of it. Right beside it's a conveyor lift. You just stand on it right to the top, and you come down.
It's a blast. Yeah, it's like 35 miles. I think our age so far, I know it's been up, it was like 82, so it's.
What's the young age for it?
Three.
What's that?
3. Yep.
So you put the dates out, Lauren, if that's.
Yes.
Plan for like grandkids
Yeah.
on certain nights, so we
Yeah,
don't.
absolutely. If they're not in your polling time up sheet, it will be in the packet that you get during check-in.
You know about when those, the information come over email for the reserving your time?
The sign up,
Yeah.
we're hoping to have that out by the end of this week, first of next week.
A lot of times mine goes spam, and if I don't know, sure, I don't know well, that's where.
You mind repeating that question?
Oh, the question was is when the email is coming out for the sign up sheet for the sign up. It will go out end of this week, first of next week.
Thank you.
Anything else?
That's it for now.
Is there any generator rules
That's what I was gonna ask you.
for a camper, if I ever get mine figured out,
The generator,
so that I can run 2 air conditioners?
well, right now we do not allow generators.
Okay.
So when I'm drowning out,
We're gonna turn on the generator. So.
we've had to, but we just run it long enough to pull the trailer back down, right?
In an emergency situation, that's understandable, but
We haven't gone into.
yeah, if it's an emergency situation, I fully understand, but if it's running a generator to run a generator, if someone wants to put an extra full-size refrigerator outside,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get.
Just to get us so that we
Yeah,
can. have
Yeah, that's
electricity.
an understanding.
Yeah, we don't.
Is anybody with full size?
Yes. Yes.
Outside the trailer?
Yes, they do.
Really?
Not fair enough.
Not doing it right.
Generator in your camper.
Standalone.
Yeah, that's what we're saying.
Yeah, that's what it is. If it's a standalone and it's an emergency situation, you know, you have having a power issue, that's understandable, but we really don't want to have a bunch of generators running all night. It creates a bunch of extra noise and extra,
Yes.
bunch of extra pollution, that, you know, so your generator might be blowing into your neighbor's window.
Yeah, we came back to our camper 98 degrees in the opposite side
Yeah.
because it browned out.
Oh. Yeah, that's an understandable.
Well, we appreciate you coming out like this, right? So this whole thing is new for us. It's all new for you, and you've been coming here a lot longer than we've been the managers here. So we like to keep these lines of communication open. As you know, you can always reach out to Sam or Jeff or I if you have any questions or anything like that. And when we know more, we'll let you know. And especially the question was asked, you know, is there opportunity for public input in this design process? So I'll make sure to keep that in mind when working with this, the firm, and we're all working with them and let them know we need some public meetings, so.
Does everyone know how to get a hold of us? Again, I can grab some business cards. That's fine.
Yeah.
You go.
I guess some of the other,
So what is actually in this building?
so during the state fair,
Well, just in general.
well,
You said offices or.
yes, so, Jeff Condon office is on the third floor. My office is on the first floor, just inside the double glass doors.
So you were kind of where Mary was at.
Kind of, yeah. So if you walked in these glass doors right here, and just kept walking straight, you'd walk right in my front door. Outside of that, we do offer this space as a rental space for the time being. We've had some birthday parties, graduation parties, baby showers, that sort of thing. We run our Snowflex tickets out of the first floor where Mary's old office used to be with the outside windows. That's really about all we use it for at the moment. Some of the other questions that have been brought up that have not been asked out yet, here yet, then would be, law enforcement presence. Steve will be here. Just same as he was last year. If myself or our other maintenance tech is not here, we will have a campground host, just same as we did last year. So during camping, if something happens, you're always more than, get handled as fast as possible can. As you can see, the pond is holding water this year. We do have fish in it, but they're too small to try to catch. Most of them are just small fingerlings. We're gonna be we're working with the DNR to get some stock into the ponds. Our pump outs are gonna be done by a different company this year. Unfortunately, the service that we've used in the last few years is no longer in business. But we will have a pump out service available, which is WSI. There will be a sheet in your packets with their information on how to get a hold of them to get a pump out. Let's see, any other details that, or information on Snowflex or anything with Snowflex or the lodge, you can look on our Facebook, social medias. As far as camping goes, it'll all be in either your packet or you can sign up and meet. Anything else?
None online.
No.
Well, thanks for coming out, everybody. Again, my business card's over by the sign-in sheet. Has my information on it for get in touch with me, so. Very much appreciate it.
Thank you.
Cool.